Hello everyone, Mario's here. In today's video I want to show you how I got Resident Evil 8 Village running in VR.
Mr. Lee.
So, to get Resident Evil 8 running in VR, there are a couple of things you need to do. For one, you have to get the game. I bought the game via Steam. You can buy it other places as well. It doesn't really matter where you buy it, but you need access to the local files. And on Steam, you simply go to the wheel and browse your local files. So that's where you're gonna install your mod into your games folder, and you'll need the mod. Praydog's VR mods for the latest Resident Evil games can be accessed from his GitHub. So you can simply just Google Praydog VR mod, right? And there you see what comes up. First is Praydog REFRE framework scripting platform modding. I have it open here, but as you see, this will direct me to the same page, right? So once you're in here, you want to find the game you're looking for, okay? And here you have some information about the games, the latest, which games are supported. He makes mods for Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and Village, as well as Devil May Cry and Monster Hunter Rise. So he's had quite a lot of games. The mods that have come the farthest along are Resident Evil 2 and 3, so that's the ones he chose to use as the base here to talk about the installation process, right? You download them. Here you also have a video explaining it to you. You simply want to drag these out of your zip folder, and here it asks me if I would like to replace the files with the same name. I think that is because I've already had this installed earlier. I'm not sure, but let's see here. After downloading the mod, extract contents of the zip into the root of your game. Yeah, so I've simply just I had it installed already, so I have to replace the earlier version of the mod. So you can't just unzip it like I did. I'm sorry, that's just me being a little clumsy, but you you go into your zip file. I'm using WinZip. That's just me, not necessary, and you can just drag this over into your folder. That's much easier to do. Let's see here, and that's it. Then you navigate the mod options and make adjustments. I want to show you as well, while we're here, the Flatscreen to VR Discord. You should add this to your Discord if you're a Discord user. If not, it's worth getting Discord just to get access to this channel. So if you just search Flatscreen to VR Discord, right? Voila, you can join it by clicking. Maybe you need to make an account for Discord. This directed me to a Reddit post, which you can just click, and there you go. Here we have the Discord. This will ask you to either, I don't know, download it or something, I don't know. It's really worth getting, and here you have to make some emojis to like tell them which games you're interested in. Personally, I've done every single game in here because I'm interested in them all, right? So here you have Valheim VR, Zelda, Breath of the Wild VR, Resident Evil 2, 3, 8 and Village in VR. And here you have like a guide for getting started, installing the mod and everything. how you can support Praydog on Patreon, I highly encourage you to click on this and go support his work, because it's really well done. Some general stuff that could be nice to just read through, some of it at least, and if you're having issues, you can post them here on the Discord. If there are updates, you'll be told about them here on Discord, and what's in development as well. So this is a really nice place to be. And here, if you watched my other videos, you can read a little bit about Luke Ross's mods if you're interested in those. Here, same thing, help, like general questions, everything. So most definitely check out Flatscreen to VR on Discord. Now that's out of the way, I'm going to talk you through how to get this thing to run, because Resident Evil 8 is still in early access. So Praydog is not finished with this mod, and there are some tricks to getting it to work in its current state. So one thing you'll have to do is you'll have problems getting the game to display in your headset. If so, you'll have to unplug your monitor to get the game to display in your headset, because the game automatically starts up in what's called HDR mode. The only game that doesn't do that is Resident Evil 2, the remake. That game asks you, do you want to start this game in HDR mode? Thus, you don't have to do the whole thing with your monitor. The other games just enables HDR from the bat, and that's really annoying. So some of us have to unplug our monitor to get it to display in our headset. And that's just simple, you unplug your HDMI cable. And there's another thing about this game. You have to go into your SteamVR settings, and you have to enable and disable automatic resolution, whatever it's called, to get the game to display in proper VR. That's a really weird thing, but for some odd reason the game appears all stretched out if you don't do it. So it's quite simple, you just have to press the button two times and then it works. However, it took me a long time figuring this out. Another thing, if you're an AMD user, you have to disable some settings in game to make it run smoothly. And if you do that, you'll actually average above 100 FPS. It's quite insane. This game performs extremely well, but only if you disable the right settings. So I'm gonna show you those tricks. Okay, people, so here's the thing. To get Resident Evil 8 to display in my headset, I have to do something a little bit weird. I have to go behind my computer and unplug the HDMI cable from my monitor. So when doing this, to not damage my monitor, I usually turn off the power simply by pressing the button. I don't know if this really makes a difference, but then when that's done, I pull out the cable. And there, no damage done to anything. Now the game should display just fine in my headset. Running this game in Link, either AirLink or Oculus Link, it does not perform as well as in Virtual Desktop. So Virtual Desktop you can get from the Quest store if you're a Quest user. Otherwise, you'll probably be using SteamVR, which is what I'm using to get this to run. A couple of settings though. You should, if you're playing with Virtual Desktop, enable synchronous space warp, because this works really well in Resident Evil 8 for some reason. I don't really understand how come, but that's the way it is. It works really well. So we're gonna go ahead and run SteamVR. There we go. And we're gonna go ahead and run our game. So first we'll need to find it. I go to Steam, through SteamVR. I go to my library and I search for it. I write res, and there we go, Resident Evil 8. And now, hopefully, we'll get an example of one of the problems with the game, that it will not display in my headset. Let's see if that's the case, or if it's been patched. I kind of doubt it, because Praydog has been focusing on Monster Hunter Rise as well as Resident Evil 7. So it looks like I was able to reproduce that issue. Surely I was. So we'll try to unplug my monitor. That might work. It might as well not work, because it might be the case that I have to go out of the game and re-enter the game before this works. We'll see here. Yup, because now it has been started in HDR mode, so I have to stop the game. Yes, there we go. Wait a second until it stops completely, and then we'll try again. Yeah, let everything load in, and now we'll try, because now I have unplugged the HDMI cable from my monitor, and let's see if it works. As you hear, my dog is kind of bored. She's running around and waiting for Daddy to play with her. And there we go, you see the game is starting up now. And the only thing I did was I unplugged my monitor. And here we see the issue, which you have to fix in the SteamVR settings. Do you see the game looks all stretched out? If I enter my settings, I go to my video settings. Let's see here. We're in Resident Evil 8. I'm not actually I didn't want those settings. I wanted these. And here it says resolution, right? In Norwegian. It says automatic or I don't know, adjustable, right? Or something. Automatic, I turned that off and I turned this one on. And you see the game is loading. And there, it's fixed. Did you see that? I went from this to that. And that is in the video settings, the general settings, not video settings for the game. I went from automatic to, I don't know what that is called in English. Below how many hertz and whatever. Like your resolution. Voila, it works, it runs. Now we're gonna head into the settings in the game. And we're going to go to the display settings. So here you have it, HDR mode. This is a pain in the ass. That defaults to on, and now it defaults to off because it thinks that I don't have an HDR monitor. So it's only if you have an HDR monitor, then this happens. It has to be in windowed mode. The mod does this for you, so you don't really have to think about this. These things aren't really important. VSync should of course be off, but this thing, Fidelity FX Super Resolution, when I turned this thing off, the game all of a sudden ran 10 times better for me. So this caused a lot of headache when it was on, and I couldn't for the life of me figure out which setting was ruining my experience. And once I turned this off, everything ran well. I've turned down basically everything here. Fidelity FX CAS, I left that on. I think that actually fix the game up a little bit for me. Anti-aliasing FXA plus TAA, I've left it on that. High, high, mid. SSAO on, mid, on, mid, on, off, on. So I haven't done really too much with the settings other than putting some of them on mid and turning some of them off. That's it. That's everything I've ever done with the settings, and if you do anything to the settings, this happens again, so you have to do the same trick all over, and now I just changed it to automatic. That's it. So let's see here what happens when I'm in game. I'm kind of curious to see if Praydog has done anything more with this mod. Yeah, so here you have it, like Resident Evil 8 in proper VR. It's so cool, man, that this is even possible. And it looks beautiful in the headset, like extremely beautiful. One thing with this game is you can't actually stab physically like you can in his other Resident Evil mods. You can, however, block physically. So when you put your hands to your face, your game character blocks. Personally, I never really used the knife in Resident Evil 8. You'll know when you try the game yourself how it functions, but it's not really like a stabbing game. It's more of a shooting game, right? And as you see, one of the issues as well is that the gun sometimes, like the, what's it called? The flare from the gun is sometimes displayed up here while your gun is down there. However, your bullet goes forward, so it's just like the flash happening up here. Okay? So it's not a big deal. This is, of course, if you don't mind the early access nature of this, and if you really want to play it. Even with its current issues. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I have more shotguns, you know, so yeah. Kick some ass. Kick some ass. Like, to me personally, this has to be my favorite Resident Evil game. I'm really into vampires and werewolves and all of that. I think it's really cool. I love the characters in this game. So these things are a little bit disorientating in VR, but most likely you've played a couple of VR games if you're trying to mod them. Yeah, so with this gun, I don't have that issue with the flare, as you saw. That it only happens sometimes, it seems. And like in some places in the game. So yeah. Here you have it, people. And only if you like. Yeah. So if I shoot from here, you don't have a problem. If I do it from here, yeah. So those things will most likely be fixed as soon as Praydog has the chance to fix them. And the guy has made a lot of VR mods at the same time. Like how that is even possible. Like making this, like you have motion controllers and everything, as well as having the same thing in Resident Evil 2 and 3. It's insane. Like, this has to have taken him years, no doubt. I mean, I found him on YouTube and saw some video from 2019 where he was working on the mod for Resident Evil 2, So most likely this is something he's been working on for a long time. And you can see it from the quality on this, because this feels like, okay, so there's a certain level of jank to this in its current state, but it does feel like an official VR mode for these games. Like, especially Resident Evil 2 and 3, they feel like official Capcom like VR modes for the game. This is in early access though, so of course there's going to be a certain level of jank, but it looks crisp, super crisp. Everything looks beautiful in the headset. It runs extremely well, so I literally could not encourage you more to try this. I mean, I couldn't recommend this more highly than what I'm doing right now, because you just have to see this for yourself. There you have it, folks. Resident Evil 8 running in VR.